Scott, we'll continue to update you here in just a few moments, but we've got Lane Luckie, who now has some damage reports for us here in East Texas. Lane?
Yeah, Mark, we're keeping an eye on exactly what's happening as we learn more about what is being reported by various law enforcement agencies as well as trained storm spotters in the area. Just the latest here that we're seeing, the Grand Saline Sun is reporting 2 houses are collapsed on FM 2401 in the Canton area. If you're familiar with the area, that's just to the west of Texas Highway 198, so to the south and west of the First Monday Trade Days area. So this weekend, of course, you're going to have a lot of people in the area for First Monday Trade Days. So a lot of people unfamiliar with East Texas and maybe unfamiliar with what happens when there's severe weather. So again, we're hearing 2 houses have collapsed on 2401. That's FM 2401 in the Canton area, just to the southeast, the southwest side of town off Texas Highway 198. Texas storm chasers are actually reporting that there's debris that apparently has been carried from as far away as 30 miles from the Canton area into the Canton area. So that would support everything Mark is telling us as far as the power of this system and the debris reports that we're seeing. Weather Nation, which is another storm chaser agency, also reporting some cars overturned on I-20 near the Canton area. We're doing our best to try and get our crews safely to that area so we can let you know exactly what's happening here in East Texas. But keep in mind, this is still happening right now, and so we have to keep our crews safe. We need to keep you safe as well, and so it's very important for you to stay at home, stay sheltered, especially if you're in this path of the storm. The areas that Mark keeps telling us about, for everyone's sake, stay put, do not go outside and do any sightseeing at this point. Again, you're seeing right now some video that we've had come in from the Eustis area. This was on 175 heading toward the Athens area. You can actually see here on your screen it crossing what appears to be the highway, and so this is just a mile east of Eustis, what you're seeing right now. We'll head back to Mark.
Lane, we're getting some information right now. I just want to let you know about that they are setting up triage on the west side of Canton High School because of all of the injuries that have occurred in the Canton area. So the west side of Canton High School, they are setting up triage because of all of the injuries that have occurred. And again, Lane, you know this. We've been telling everybody there have been 3 separate tornadoes that moved through the Canton area this afternoon since about 5 o'clock. And I'm not even sure that it's over, to tell you the truth.
Right, Mark. We're just learning now that ETMC in Tyler is on yellow alert. They're preparing for as many as 40 patients from the affected areas. So we're just learning this. Again, ETMC in Tyler now at a yellow alert. So that would confirm exactly what you're seeing here. Many, many injuries and potentially more to come.
That's really unfortunate, Lane. And thank you so much for that. Do you have more information for us, Lane, or is that...
For now, we're still working with law enforcement to gain information as best as we can.
Excellent. And if you get more, please come in and let us know. We need to know that, as well as we need to know what's going on out there right now. So we're looking at our high-resolution radar at this point. Okay, we got an update from TxDOT. Is that Lane? Go ahead and update us, please.
To let you know that TxDOT is mobilizing some of its crews to respond in Van Zandt County. Apparently, before the reported tornado moved through the area, they were on FM 17, which runs kind of north and south and intersects with Interstate 20. They were removing trees from the roadway and had to take shelter as the reported tornado was moving through. Right now, they don't have reports of any closures in the area, but caution is advised. Of course, if we're talking about debris on the roadway, that could pose a hazard, as well as any down power lines as well. Encore reporting plenty of outages throughout East Texas right now. But again, TxDOT is mobilizing crews to move through the area and determine if roads are passable right now. But there are reports of debris on roadways all across Van Zandt County, so use caution if you absolutely have to be out on the roadway. But of course, Mark and others, law enforcement, all advising stay off the roads right now in the greater Canton area. Mark, back to you.
And we just got another tornado warning for Van Zandt County, unfortunately.
Mark, this looks like it probably would be a home from what we're seeing here. You can look in the center of your screen and you can see what appears to be a vanity light on what was a wall.
Lane, come on over here. Come on over
there
here
in
with
the center
Yeah,
of the
Lane
screen.
was looking at this photograph a little bit closer, and tell me what you were thinking there.
I believe it looks like it would be a home. We're waiting to go live to our Francesca Washington, who is in Eustis. But if you look there on the bottom right of your screen, that looks like a stackable washer and dryer as well.
It does.
You know, so you'd have to imagine that this is a home. We're still waiting to talk to our crews there who are in touch with law enforcement there in the field to learn more about any possible injuries.
We do know that there are many injuries in Canton. We've got that triage that is set up on the west side of Canton High School right now. But I would imagine, hopefully no one was home in this situation. I mean, you know, let's just hope that they weren't there.
Of course, the Van Zandt County Sheriff saying many injuries. Right. The extent of those at this point, we do not know.
But we know that ETMC is on code yellow or yellow alert right now with at least 40 patients.
Preparing for as many as 40
patients. All right, so Lane, thank you so much. And please, just come in anytime. For me here.
Mark, I do have an update for you on some injuries coming in. We've learned from ETMC that the hospital in Athens has received 9 patients as of about 10 minutes ago. They were brought by EMS, by ambulance. Right now their conditions are unknown. We're still trying to learn that information. But again, 9 patients have been brought to ETMC in Athens. We've also learned that...
Do we know if they were from Canton or from Eustis?
That is unclear at this point.
Okay,
We're
still
still
working.
Have
9 patients, severe weather
that
issues.
have been brought to ETMC in Athens related to today's storms. We're also learning that a 22-passenger ambulance bus is being brought in from Palestine to Canton. So that may give you another idea of what type of emergency, what type of situation first responders are preparing for at this time. A 22-passenger ambulance bus being brought into Canton to assist with the response there. Again, triage centers have been set up at Canton ISD and Fruitvale ISD, according to the Van Zandt County Sheriff's Office. So as we're still learning to confirm any injuries, possible fatalities, unconfirmed at this point, but we do know that Canton ISD and Fruitvale ISD are now being mobilized as triage centers for any injuries. So again, as we told you earlier, ETMC is reporting that their hospital in Athens has received 9 patients. We know that ETMC in Tyler is on yellow alert at this point, and we're being prepared for as many as 40 injuries. And again, as we told you earlier, a large 22-passenger ambulance is going to be moving into the Canton area as far as the Regional Advisory Council is telling us. That all is being passed along to us at this point. Mark?
All right, well, I appreciate that, Lane. Thank you so much, and thank you to Arthur. Yet another flash flood warning for parts of Henderson County as well. And Lane Luckie just ran back in here to the studio. I'm sure he's got an update for us. Lane, what do you got?
Unfortunately, Mark, this is the news we were hoping would not be, but we have just learned from the Ben Wheeler Volunteer Fire Department that there is 1 confirmed fatality. We're still working to learn exactly where this is, but we're told that this was a person found in a pasture in Canton. And again, that's according to the Ben Wheeler Volunteer Fire Department, and that's just into our newsroom. Mark, back to you.
This could be the person, I guess, that Arthur was talking about.
One would suspect, but we're still trying to learn that.
And the Colfax area here very soon. Lane, you got anything for me?
Just asking you for some safety advice at this point. Of course, we always talk about how the threat for severe weather, particularly tornadoes, is so much more severe once the sun goes down. And that's what we're seeing right now. The sun is setting, and you can no longer see what's going on outside, so it becomes vitally important for you to stay connected to us right here. And then, of course, with folks wanting to get out and try and venture out and see damage, check on relatives, things like that, it becomes more difficult to see any damage that, debris that might be in the road.
The first thing you have to do is stay informed. Make sure that you know what's going on out there, because if the residents of Canton would have gone out and done all of this stuff when that first tornado hit, there were 2 more that came by, and even a 3rd possibly. So there could have been 4 within just a short period of time. So you have to stay alert. You have to know what's happening out there, and make sure that if you just think that something may not be quite right, make sure that you, again, protect yourself. Stay away from any down power lines, knowing that if it's still breezy out there, the trees can continue to come down. You know, there could be additional tornadoes that develop, as we're seeing here now, just north of the city of Colfax in Van Zandt County. we could be looking at yet another tornado that could be developing or already on the ground. So you just have to be safe. You have to be careful, understanding that when power goes out, now you've lost all light, so it makes it extremely difficult to get around. So you have to make sure that you think of your own safety first, and make sure that you keep yourself as safe as possible.
Yeah, some great advice. Listen to this. Take this warning.
All right, thank you, Lane. I appreciate that very much. If you get more info, please let us know. Please continue to be safe out there.
Thanks, Mark.
Thanks, Katie. Yes, please, Lane.
From our newsroom, we're learning that I-20 in Terrell is shut down right now due to tornado-flipped cars on the roadway. So a developing situation there. I-20 in Terrell shut down in both directions, we're learning. So again, just reinforcing exactly what Mark and Katie are telling all of you at home. Stay home, stay out of the path of these storms as best as you can. We're going to do our best to get in touch with law enforcement now and learn more about any possible injuries on this. We're getting some new video just in. Yeah, this is I-20 in Canton. This video is just into our newsroom. You can see just the number of law enforcement vehicles already there on the scene. This was some time ago, you can tell, because it's still daylight outside. So obviously someone driving past this area. You can see debris there off in the distance, and look at all of the lights. If I'm not mistaken, this is the Dodge dealership there in Canton. You can see the main building there just blown out by the winds. And again, we're still working to learn more about possible injuries. We have confirmed at least one person killed by, that's being reported by the Ben Wheeler Volunteer Fire Department, but just into our newsroom, that video there surveying the damage in the Canton area. We've been told by multiple sources that what you were just looking at on your screen there was extensive damage to the Dodge dealership in Canton. Mark?
All right, well, thanks, Lane, for that information. And we continue to see
Texas game wardens have been mobilized. So again, just in from our newsroom, we have multiple state agencies responding to the Canton area, along with law enforcement from as far away as the Dallas-Fort Worth metro area. Mark?
Thank you, Lane. Thank you for that. I really appreciate that. And thank them for their help, leaving their homes on a Saturday to come help us out here in East Texas. That we can. Jessica, please let me know if you do see anything. Lane, let's bring Lane's mic up here real quick.
We just have another question coming in here for you, Mark, from Facebook. Should people be concerned about lightning in the area, even if they may not be in the direct path of this storm?
No doubt. No doubt.
Are we able to look at maybe the number of lightning strikes or how intense that is?
You bet I can. I can do that anytime you want me to do. All right, let's go ahead and back out a bit, and we are going to actually turn the lightning feature on our radar here so that we can see what's going on. There is a tremendous amount of lightning associated with these storms. We saw Katie and Zach out in the storm tracker earlier today, and the lightning was ferocious. There was really no other way to describe it. So this box that I'm drawing on the screen right now, that red box, there are over 3,000 lightning strikes in the last 30 minutes. That is 100 lightning strikes per minute that are occurring in that storm. That is just incredible. And I always say, it just takes one. It just takes one lightning strike to cause irreparable damage to you and your family. Let's just zoom into a few of these storms.
All right, Arthur, thanks so much for that update. Of course, as we'll continue to look here at this live picture, we've learned that the Texas Task Force is responding. The Regional State Fire Marshal's office is also there. Smith County has also moved their command platform trailer to Canton High School. And so, again, this has become a triage area for injuries. Multiple law enforcement agencies from around the region and even the state are now en route or at Canton High School. We're still working to learn exactly how many injuries. As you can imagine, that's an unknown number at this point. We're still trying to learn, as law enforcement don't even know exactly how many may be injured. And you can see just the number of emergency vehicles, ambulances there on the scene. So adding any people to the mix there is only going to complicate this response. And if you're wondering exactly what happened, this is, again, earlier in Canton. This video sent to us by a viewer. You can see fire trucks, police units, and many more vehicles stop there along the interstate, you're looking from what we've been told at the Dodge dealership in Canton. You can see the sign blown out there and some type of tree debris there in the middle of the median, but you can see the roof damaged. We need to head back to Mark for some new information just in. Mark?
Well, we're looking now at that storm moving through Van Zandt County, and it is pulsing upwards here now in parts of the northwestern sections of Smith County and Wood County very seriously. Lane, you have info?
And as we continue to watch this, another good question coming in via Facebook for our friends and neighbors in the far eastern portions of East Texas along the I-20 and 30 corridor. Should they start preparing more as this continues to move east to west?
There's no doubt about it. You know, when you see a situation like this and we get numerous tornadoes occurring in parts of East Texas, you're thinking, well, it's not in my area. Well, it's not in your area yet. As we await the cold front that you can see, we're getting some power outage info now. Can we, Lane, you got that?
Sure, Mark.
Right,
we
Lane,
just wanted to give you an opportunity to catch your breath here and get a sip of water. We're learning right now, we've been in touch with Encore, the major power provider for homes in Van Zandt County. We've learned as many as 7,000 people are without power there at the moment. They serve about 12,000 people in the area. And so right now, 7,000 people. And this is what law enforcement, this is what utility crews are dealing with right now. And we're talking about a lot of down power lines. You can see here, this is video from earlier in the Canton area, right off Interstate 20 on the north side of the interstate. This is the Dodge dealership, and really just an impressive view here of the damage. You can see the sign blown out there. And then the building on the left side of your screen is the dealership itself. You can see in the distance to the right of the building overturned vehicles from the dealership. And then again, this is the scene that we've seen all day throughout East Texas. As many as 5 tornadoes reported in East Texas, one as large as a mile wide, according to law enforcement. Right now, we have confirmed 1 fatality associated with today's severe weather, and that is from the Ben Wheeler Volunteer Fire Department. Our crew in the field tells us a man was in his truck and drove into his property. A rancher drove onto his property and was in fact killed in the storm there. So 1 fatality. Again, the numbers are still coming in as far as the number of injuries we're seeing. Local hospitals are all on alert and being told to stand by as people are being transported away from Canton High School, which has been set up as a triage area. There are law enforcement agencies from all across the region making their way to Van Zandt County, specifically to the Canton area right now, to respond, to assist in any way they can. The latest agency we're hearing, Kilgore Police, is sending crews to help with the response to this. So again, we're continuing to stay in touch with law enforcement as we learn more about possible injuries. We have confirmed 9 people have been taken to ETMC in Athens. That is a little dated as far as the last update we received from them, but we don't want to pass along any information that we cannot confirm at this point. The image you're seeing here on your screen is in the Eustis area, and this was about 2 hours ago, and we were told by our crew in the field that this was a home, and you can see here in the center of the screen what looked like some sort of bathroom. And then the right side of your screen, the lower right, is a stackable washer dryer. So someone's home there. Again, just continuing to get a lot of information in. We have a full newsroom right now in touch with law enforcement, who are understandably very busy responding to this situation across East Texas, and we're doing our best to pass along that information. If you have friends and family who are without power, you can remind them that they can stay connected to this information by using their First Alert weather app, their KLTV weather app, or you can go to kltv.com/live to watch streaming coverage and all of these updates from Mark, as well as get all the latest information on these tornado warnings that are in effect, severe thunderstorm warnings for parts of East Texas, as well as interactive radar. Mark, are you ready for the latest update?
I am.
Let's head back to Mark.
Just had to take a quick break there to get a nice drink of water and to kind of clear my head for just a second, but we still have a couple of tornado warnings. So please be safe there as that storm continues on that east-northeastward movement. at about 25 miles per hour. So that's the update that I have here. And I also know that Lane has a similar story that he wants to tell us about what happened today.
Yeah, that's
Lane?
right. Similar to what Joe was just telling us about with people taking shelter in the cooler of a Love's truck stop, we've learned that the Union Grove ISD boys track team had to take shelter just a short time ago, about an hour ago, at the Buc-ee's truck stop there in Terrell, and they were waiting for the storm to clear. We had been told that there were reports of overturned vehicles on the interstate there in the Terrell area, and the interstate was impassable. We're still working to get some new information on the latest with that situation if the road is back open again. But the boys track team is okay from what we're hearing. They just felt it important to take shelter right there at a truck stop on the interstate, and are not going to be heading back into our part of East Texas until it's safe. Mark, back to you. That's
a really good idea. And the central parts of East Texas, the more difficult it gets. And now that it's dark, it makes it nearly impossible. We do have some injury info.
We do. We're just learning that 3 people have been transferred from the Canton tornado by ETMC EMS. 1 patient came to ETMC in Tyler. Another was sent to Christus Trinity Mother Francis. Now, as we were telling you earlier, there was a regional ambulance bus sent to the Canton area at the triage center that's been set up at the high school there. They're awaiting the arrival of potentially more patients. Of course, this whole situation being complicated by it being dark outside. Now, ETMC Athens, we do have an update on that. Still 9 patients. The people that were transferred to ETMC in Athens are related to the Henderson County tornado, and that's, of course, from the Eustis and Fruitvale areas. Now, there are 10 ambulances on the scene from ETMC in Canton right now, and they're waiting for more information as people continue to arrive or being brought to the triage area at Canton High School. So again, it's a very busy situation right now. The best thing you can do is stay away from that area and allow law enforcement and first responders to do their job. Mark?
Lane, thank you so much. And I'm just looking, while Lane was speaking, just looking at the velocity scan here.
ETMC in Athens now has 36 patients. 1 of them is in critical condition. ETMC Cedar Creek has received 8 patients. Now, those patients there all have injuries that are non-life-threatening. And ETMC in Tyler has 4 more patients en route from the Canton tornado. Those are non-life-threatening. But the big update here, ETMC in Athens has received 36 patients, 1 of whom is in critical condition. We're still trying to learn more from law enforcement, again, as people are being brought in there to the triage center in Canton. Mark?
All right. Thank you, Lane. Will you please stop reporting that kind of information? This has just really been... It's been a tough day, and I continue to, while I'm doing this, praying for all of you out there. Lane, do you have anything to update here before I let him go back to regular programming? I know you will have more information.
We will, coming up here in just a bit. Again, just to recap some of the latest numbers that we're receiving as far as injuries. Those of you that have been with us here in the last few minutes, we've learned that 36 patients have been transported to ETMC in Athens. 1 of those is in critical condition. 8 patients at ETMC Cedar Creek Lake, and 4 patients are now being transported to ETMC in Tyler. So law enforcement are expecting potential for more injuries. We've learned just a few ambulances have been dispatched from Trinity Mother Francis as well. And so law enforcement, again, are positioned in 2 locations in East Texas right now. There are triage centers set up at Canton High School and at Fruitvale ISD. And some of the injuries that were, those people that were transported to Cedar Creek Lake ETMC were from the Eustis and Fruitvale tornadoes. So again, we're still working to learn more from law enforcement, just the number of injuries. We do have 1 confirmed fatality. That was in the Canton area. Ben Wheeler Volunteer Fire Department confirming to us there was 1 fatality earlier this afternoon in the Canton area. A rancher in his truck was found in a field there. So continue to stay with us right here, and on KLTV.com we'll get you the very latest information as we learn more. Mark?
Yeah, I appreciate all your help, Lane, Katie, and Jessica.
Caring, committed, proud of East Texas. You're watching East Texas News Weekend.
Good evening and thank you for joining us. Severe weather has made its way into East Texas and at least one person has been found dead during this evening's storms.
The Ben Wheeler Volunteer Fire Department confirms the body of an unidentified person was found in a pasture in Canton. At this time, it's unclear why or how the person got into the pasture, but again, one person has been confirmed dead. Now, multiple state agencies are now on their way to East Texas tonight and to begin the recovery process. So let's get straight over to Chief Meteorologist Mark Skirdo in the First Alert Weather Center. What should we expect for the rest of the evening and into tomorrow, Mark?
Understand that Canton will rebound and that people will come to their aid. Back to you.
All right, thank you, Bob.
We do have an update now from ETMC. We're working to gather the latest numbers here, but ETMC Athens tells us they've received 36 patients from the storms this evening. One of those is in critical condition. Now, ETMC Cedar Creek Lake has received 8 patients. Our Delaney Bride joins us now from Tyler with the latest on these injuries. Delaney?
Yes, guys, we are here at Tyler ETMC. I'm here with Rebecca Berkeley.
All right, Francesca Washington reporting in the newsroom for us tonight. Of course, the National Weather Service confirming at this time 3 tornadoes touching down on East Texas. As Mark Skirdo's been saying, we anticipate the possibility of that number going up as daylight gives an idea of exactly what we're experiencing
and
for
National
damage.
Weather Service, observes tomorrow, absolutely.
Yeah, they'll be out with crews surveying the damage. All right, we'll be back with more coverage right after this. Stay with us. Standing by now live, Bob, what do you know at this point? What are you seeing around you?
Well, there's been a bit of a lull now, and it's almost a false sense of security because, and it's going to be a long night for everybody. Back to you.
All right, Bob. Bob Hallmark reporting live in Canton tonight as the response there is only beginning. Let's get another update on the weather where you live, and Mark Skirdo, who's standing by with what we can expect into the overnight hours.
So let's first of all go ahead and look at First Alert Live Doppler radar.